Another pick that was made in the draft was Jamar Chase reuniting with Joe Burrow. The Bengals selected Jamar Chase with the 5th overall pick in the draft. And will the duo of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase be as special in Cincinnati as it was in their lone year at LSU when they went all the way to the national championship and won and dominated that game?
Well, yeah, listen, in my mock, I had Penny going here, but I didn't mind either or pick. I felt like the offensive line was needed. You know, when Joe Burrow went down, him and Wentz were the number 2 in most hits by a quarterback. But, you know, getting Chase, you know, still, like we said, like you said before, there's still guys on day 2, day 3 that the Bengals could still get. But Jamar Chase was a hard guy to pass on. You know, with A.J. Green out of his prime and not being that guy. T. Higgins is a good, big, heavy receiver, but I don't think he's your number 1. Tyler Boyd either. I think you get Jamar Chase. That is your number 1 guy. You got Joe Mixon down. Now you have a dangerous 3-man offense. You can run Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and that is dangerous. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase already have that chemistry. He got that chemistry locked in with Higgins and Boyd. I think Higgins almost had about 1K last year.
Yep.
So it's like now you got 3 dangerous young receivers, and I think that's going to be good. Joe Mixon is still in the backfield. He's really young too. So I think this Bengals offense is starting to become exciting. I think that's good for the Bengals. Joe Burrow, I think, is the guy for them going forward. I think he's their franchise quarterback. So that's good. You just have to fix up that O-line. They fix up that O-line. You know, Cincinnati can finally become relevant. You know, even with Andy Dalton and A.J. Green, they were somewhat relevant. I think this team has a chance to be a lot better than those teams. Joe Burrow has to come back healthy, and this team has to just build that offensive line.
Yeah, and their receiving core is going to be great. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd in the slot, and Auden Tate, who's a good 4th receiver. He could, honestly, if he was starting next season and Jamar Chase wasn't the pick, I would have been really high on Auden Tate. And also, I like C.J. Uzomah. He got injured last year, and Drew Sample has shown some flashes. Personally, for me, I didn't think they needed to go offensive line because I think they just signed Riley Reif, a right tackle who's an average right tackle. He's not going to move the needle far, but he's going to move the needle somewhat. And Jonah Williams was their best offensive lineman on the team last year, and he plays the same position that Penei Sewell plays. So what they need is interior offensive linemen. They need a center. Right now, their center is, I forgot this guy's name. I'm trying to remember it. It just slipped my mind. But their offensive line, the interior of the offensive line is Billy Price. They didn't even pick up his 5th-year option, and it's Quentin Spain. I like Quentin Spain. He's okay. But getting a wide receiver for them, in my opinion, was the right move to make. And right now, I'm searching up their center because I want to actually know who it is. So it's Trey Hopkins. I knew it was Trey Hopkins. Their guards last year were Michael Jordan and Quentin Spain.
Michael Jordan.
And their center was Trey Hopkins. Michael Jordan is a bad guard. Quentin Spain is okay. Trey Hopkins, he's below average. They could get better. But on day 2 of the draft, they can very well draft the Creed Humphrey out of Oklahoma, Landon Dickerson out of Alabama, or they can go with Tevin Jenkins if they really want to go a tackle, Wyatt Davis at guard for Ohio State. I mean, there are a bunch of offensive linemen still on the board. There was going to be no Jamar Chase here. And I think the connection with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase is just too hard to pass up on. I mean, they're really close. They had a historic season at LSU, and Jamar Chase looks like he's going to be an elite receiver, at least a top 10 receiver in the league. So I think this move was amazing, and I've always said this. A great receiving core minimizes the deficiencies on an offensive line. You look at the Minnesota Vikings. They have one of the worst offensive lines in the league, but they have Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and Dalvin Cook. And their offense is a top 10 offense. Matt Ryan with the Falcons. His offensive line is horrible year in and year out, and he's not a mobile quarterback. But they still find a way to move the chains because of Julio and Calvin Ridley. So the Bengals, I think, because they have that great receiving core, that offensive line isn't going to be that much of a problem.
Yeah, no, like you know, I don't want to make it seem like it can happen, but you saw Justin Jefferson when he walked in, instant impact. I think Jamar Chase, I personally think he was better than him at LSU, or they were at the same level. So I think he can come in and make that type of impact. That's how good he is. And, you know, you're right. there wasn't going to be another Jamarr Chase down the line. And I think with that type of guy at that, I think he was the best receiver in the draft, regardless of if Devontae Smith won Heisman. I think Jamarr Chase was the best receiver out of them three. And it wasn't going to be another guy. You name the guys, you can get a tackle, you can get a center that they really need. Penny Slate, they call him a generation star. I get that, but like you just named, there's guys out there day 2, day 3. There isn't another Jamarr Chase. So they went and got their guy, the Joe Burrow Chase connection, and that's good. And like you said, this could be a dangerous offense, and we keep talking about it. The AFC is getting better. It's getting better. So that division isn't no joke. Baltimore, Steelers, the Browns, and the Bengals. And the Browns have a good secondary. So do the Steelers. So do Baltimore. You're going to need guys that can make big plays, and Jamarr Chase is that guy.
Yeah, exactly. And last year, Joe Burrow had a great season for a rookie, and his receiving core wasn't elite, and his offensive line was piss poor.
Oh, yeah.
This upcoming season, you're getting a guy in Jamar Chase who looks like an elite receiver. Their receiving core is going to be elite, and their offensive line is going to be improved. And Joe Mixon, hopefully he stays healthy the entire year, so he'll be fine moving forward. And I think Jamar Chase was the right pick for the Bengals at 5.